You know how they say it's been a pleasure? It hasn't.
Where are you going?
I'm getting the hell out of Dodge, kid. And so should you. It's just a matter of time.
Researchers have been analyzing highly radioactive materials found near the nuclear plant more than 2 years after the accident. Workers found 4 types of radioactive substances in the last 2 months on a riverbed that runs through Naraha town. The materials resemble black plastic sheeting and fragments of wood. The researchers detected 2 types of radioactive cesium in the materials with a telling ratio. TEPCO officials say a similar ratio is found in materials more than 2 years after radioactive contamination. The researchers are trying to identify the materials, but they don't understand how they ended up 15 kilometers from the plant. They say it's possible the materials were blown there by the hydrogen explosions during the disaster.
Experts are saying that cleaning up radioactivity in Fukushima Prefecture could cost $50 billion. That's more than 4 times the amount now allocated. Decontamination work has been done based on radiation level. The central government is responsible for cleanup in the Fukushima Prefecture no entry zone. It's also subsidizing the work in other areas. The government has so far allocated about $11 billion, but it hasn't made clear what the total cost might be. Experts from a Science and Technology Institute have studied the costs. Their estimate for the no-entry zones is about $20 billion. In other areas, they say it's $31 billion. This includes the cost of handling and storing radioactive waste, such as contaminated soil.
The government should study the costs before deciding whether to complete decontamination or reallocate the money to help people rebuild their lives.
She also says the government is doing the work without considering the expectations of residents.
Cleanup crews have years of work ahead of them, but even the decontamination carried out so far has been called into question. It's proceeding at a slow pace, and radiation levels still exceed safe levels in many areas. NHK examined 43 districts where cleanup crews have been working. It compared data before and after decontamination. In 33 of those areas, radiation levels were still higher than 1 millisievert per year. That's the safety limit set by the government. Areas close to the nuclear plant present the biggest challenge. Scientists are still testing cleanup methods. Radiation levels near the reactors remain 10 to 60 times higher than the official limit. Elsewhere, crews are making slow progress. As the end of March, the Environment Ministry says decontamination has been carried out in just 3% of residential areas in the evacuation zone. Outside the off-limits zone, only 8% of the cleanup work had been done by the end of June. Members of Tokyo's Olympic Big Committee are doing everything they can to win the 2020 Summer Olympics and Paralympics. They're asking people from the tourism and transport industries for help. Groups from Tokyo, Istanbul, and Madrid are competing to host the Games. Members of the International Olympic Committee will announce the winner in September. About 250 people attended a lecture in Tokyo. They included representatives of the transport, tourism, and hotel industries.
I want to ask the participants for their help in encouraging the public to support our bid to host the Games.
One participant pointed out that hosting the Olympics produces ripple effects. Host cities invest in upgrading roads and other infrastructure, and the Games drive an increase in travelers from abroad.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but I mean, you were telling me stories before that really set me back in terms of the way that the people are not able to leave the area.
Right.
Because of
basically financially
because they can't get the benefits, the disaster benefits,
and also being discriminated against in other prefectures.
So there's cultural stuff, government action as well, and all in all, it basically serves to try to put a lid on the whole thing. And the ones that suffer are the people at ground zero in the area, surrounding areas, right?
Right. And another factor is that you've got a lot of older people that are living in Fukushima, like old grandmothers and grandfathers, and they don't want their families to be broken up and separated. So they are also trying to keep their family in Fukushima right? Because
Right.
they don't want to be left alone, to die alone, right?
Wow.
They want the extended family to continue. I mean, you know, these are families that have been together
Sure.
for generations, right? And all of a sudden, oh, my child and my grandchild are going to be gone and
Right.
never come back. So the older generation is pressuring the younger people too. You know, please don't leave me alone. I don't want to be left alone, which of course is understandable. You know, but you need
Yeah,
to
of
think.
course, yeah.
You got to think of all the
The big
circumstances
picture thing.
right
So there's,
now.
there's cultural elements and
there's-
a
yeah.
lot of stuff going
It's
on.
really, yeah,
But
it's a difficult
I
situation.
think the thing that you told me today that really set me back the furthest was when you were telling me what the children were saying about their radiation levels.
yes, yes,
Can you
yes.
just explain that again?
Yes, they have there's cysts in their thyroid.
Right.
And so they're either labeled A1, A2, or B1. A1 is you have no abnormalities. A2 means they found cysts in your thyroid. B1 is basically you're probably going to get cancer or you already have cancer.
Oh, really?
And kids that are A1 and A2, 43% of the kids in Fukushima have A2. And so
43%.
43%. And they basically go around saying, oh, which one are you? Are you A1? Are you A2?
The kids know the terms.
Oh, they know the terms.
These are grade school children?
These are grade school children. They get tested, I think, they got tested right after the disaster. I think they get tested once a year.
Really?
Yes, but another problem with these tests is that they're only 10 seconds long.
10 seconds long. Really, why is that?
Oh, because they don't want to find anything.
Oh, so the longer the test can go on, the more radiation they can pick up.
No. The longer the test, the more they can detect cysts in their thyroid.
The cysts, it's right, the cysts, right?
Yeah,
right,
so
not
what the
radiation.
doctors do is for 10 seconds they check their neck and they go, okay, oh, you're an A1, good for you.
And you were telling me
that's
before
finished.
if they get diagnosed as A1, they can't get a second
No,
test.
because the doctors and the hospitals have been told that they're not allowed to give second opinions to people who have A1 diagnosis.
And you said that's because a lot of them are actually A2s?
Yeah, they don't want to find that out.
And
they don't want to increase the percentages that they already have right now.
Scary.
Very scary. It's very scary. And scary for kids to be talking about this.
Really?
You know, oh, you're an A1, I'm an A2.
That they
Yeah.
even know about that type of
Oh,
thing.
and little 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, you know, that know which areas are radioactive and which areas
They
are
know
not.
that kind of thing.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
You know, it's like, oh, no, it's 0.3 today. You can't go out to play. Oh, well, too bad.
And you were telling me before that on the school grounds that the radiation is low, but if you slope
Right,
around,
right.
it spikes
Yes,
up.
yes, yes,
You've
yes.
tested it with your...